Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. I know it's like 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning, and it took a lot to be here. So thanks a lot. This is Introduction to Databricks SQL. My name is Himanshu Raja. I'm a product manager in Databricks, leading DBSQL. Cool.
Hi, everyone. My name is Pearl. I am part of product marketing at Databricks, and I'm happy to be here.
Exciting. So we'll talk about DBSQL, Databricks SQL. And the intention of this session is it's a very introductory session. The intention of the session is for us to give you a quick tool of what Databricks SQL is. I have some slides. I'll talk about what introduce various capabilities of DB SQL, and then Pearl will give you a tour like a real actual live demo. Pretty risky, but we'll try our best. The intention is after this session, you are actually familiar with Databricks SQL, and you can just go and kick off tires and try out the product yourself. So we have the survey. So please definitely rank us, give us feedback. We look at it after the summit every year to see how we can make sessions better. And a lot of the time, the feedback actually helps us to make the sessions better. So quickly moving to what is Databricks SQL. So I just want to start with our Databricks platform and place you in what we are talking about today. So if you see the Databricks Lakehouse platform, we have the storage layer, the Delta Lake or Iceberg, then we have Unity Catalog, and then you have the products on top of these. The product that I'm talking about today is the data warehousing offering from Databricks, and it's called Databricks SQL. In short, we call it DBSQL. So this is what the internals of like the Databricks SQL looks like. This is how we think about it when we are building a roadmap, when we are building functionalities. And if you start, it's nothing revolutionary. But if you the pieces that do make it unique, I'm going to talk about some of those pieces, and that's really towards how we think about a data warehousing in the lakehouse architecture. So starting from the left, and this is a mental map for the rest of our session of how we're gonna discuss and talk about DBSQL. So there is ingestion, transformation, you have SQL capabilities, then you can visualize your queries, and then you can serve those results. And then these can be accessed through outside with any of the tools. So I'll talk about all of those capabilities and how Databricks SQL has a complete suite of capabilities for all of these things. We launched Databricks SQL about 3 years ago, I think, three years ago, and since then we have had a tremendous adoption and usage of the product. And today, around 11,000 customers, organizations are using Databricks SQL as a database offering. So very exciting in terms of the feedback we get and how quickly we are able to iterate. The 3 key things I want you all to take away from this session, and this is how we think about how when we build features and capabilities into Databricks SQL. The first is we want Databricks SQL to be the fully featured enterprise-ready data warehouse. And the key piece is that it's open by design. I'm going to talk a lot about how we do data warehousing, but in an open architecture, in open format. We continue to focus on ETL, BI, and AI, all 3 use cases. For performance, for TCO, it remains the focus, and I'll show you some really cool graphs that actually prove that Databricks SQL is the best data warehouse for ETL, BI, and AI. And then lastly, I'm not going to talk about this migrations in today's session because this is an introductory session, but there are many other sessions where we're going to talk about how we are making migrations super easy, especially using LLMs just to convert code and not take like months or years to migrate to Databricks SQL. So quickly talking about open by design, that's a philosophy that, like Databricks throughout the years, we have really focused on how we have open architecture and no lock-in and let the best engine win. So the first thing is 100% on open formats. You're gonna hear big announcements in the keynotes. One of the announcements you will hear about is around our Iceberg offering. So now Databricks SQL and all the other Databricks products run both on Delta and Iceberg. It's built on Open Catalog. UC is the fundamental is piece of what makes Databricks SQL really impactful data warehouse. And I'm going to talk about some of the capabilities that it enables. But the key thing here is, thanks to UC, Databricks SQL can be in the center of your data platform, and it enables unified governance and access to across your data estate without going anywhere else. And lastly, thanks to the open APIs and the open drivers, we just have this ecosystem of partners and tools that you can connect to Databricks SQL. So it's fully open and interoperable. Uh, in terms of, when you start with data warehousing, you're like, hey, the first thing I need to do is to ingest from any sources. And we have a really big suite of products from using which you can do ingest, starting from Fivetran to any other the data sources or applications. We also have Lakeflow Connect, which is our in-house product that allows you to easily move data in and get started. But I didn't want to spend too much time on ingestion, because like, ingestion is like, hopefully, if we are doing our job right, ingestion should not be a problem, and you just get started, and it's like really simple. So when you try out the product, you will see that how easy it is to get data in and get started. And that's also the beauty of the open architecture, that when you have data present in your data lake, you can just start querying it. So I'm going to focus more on the serving layer of the piece, where how do you serve the data. So talking about the open APIs, so all Databricks SQL has the SQL API that you can use to integrate with your applications to get data. Also, our drivers, the JDBC and ADBC driver. ADBC is for Power BI, and JDBC is for all the other BI tools. They are also open sourced, and that really helps us to improve performance and iterate very, very quickly in the community. So this is how you can query data from DBSQL. There is a whole suite of products from Google Sheets to Tableau, Power BI, your usual suspects, and then we also have integrations with all the AI agents and apps that you can use to get data. Spreadsheet connectivity is something that we had launched very recently, and you don't need to. It's a plugin. You don't need to connect anymore through the drivers, and you can just like query data from Google Sheets. Pretty awesome, pretty easy. Apart from Power BI and Tableau, we have the AI BI in the product itself, and it's a really good way to get started with DBSQL. You can interact with your data, you can query the data and use our AI assistant to, even if you're not familiar and have sophisticated SQL experience, you can just start playing with the data. And this is what Pearl will demo some of it today.
All right, thanks, Himanshu. So here I've already created a dashboard. I did this prior to coming. But I wanted to kind of share with you the background on this data set. It's just some sales metrics, some customer metrics about our bakery shop. And so really quick here, the great thing about AI BI dashboards is that everything is powered obviously by a SQL warehouse, but with our data sets, and these data sets are all registered in Unity Catalog. And I'll share a little bit about Unity Catalog a bit later. So I've added all of these data sets. You can add them from your source, which would be from the Catalog Explorer or Unity Catalog. I've already added all the tables I needed. And then you can also add from SQL. So if you wanted to create your own SQL code. So in the canvas here, once I have all my data sets added, I can simply select down here, which is my viz, and place it here. And the great thing is, I don't even have to run any code. I could literally just type what I want, and it will give me the viz. So in this case, I'm just gonna say total product sales, total quantity by product, sorry. Awesome, I even spelled quantity wrong, but it still understood what I was doing. So as you can see, I didn't have to run any code, and it generates a lovely bar chart. I love it, so I'm gonna go ahead and accept that. But I think what's equally as cool is here I have a line graph on just adjusted amounts across our products according to date. And so what I can do is I can forecast what these amounts could be really simply. I don't have to run any code either. I literally scroll down here and I click forecast. I just clone with AI forecast and boom. They are forecasting across next year and they give you the upper and lower limits and potentially, and the amounts. So here again, we try to make it super easy for you and your organization to get insights from BI without having to do much.
Awesome. Uh, so this is not an AI BI session. This session is really DBSQL. We did not bait and switch, but the intention is to just like help you understand that if you use DBSQL, a very easy way to get started with the analyst and just playing around with data is AI BI. Of course, there is integration with Power BI and Tableau that most often people use with DBSQL. The next very cool thing with AI BI is that when you actually use, this is just the exploratory space. You know, you have the Genie where you can just like ask questions in English. And it's governed, and that's the key thing is it's governed and secured because of Unity Catalog. So you can just safely deploy Genie on your data that understands your own data and semantics to help you start querying. And this is what Pearl will show next.
All right, so back to our dashboard. Right now, this is a draft version of my dashboard. So I'm just gonna go ahead and publish that. So when I publish it, I'm able to embed my credentials. That just means that I can share this with someone and they can see what's on my dashboard. They don't have to have access to the underlying data. And then additionally, I'm gonna enable Genie. So that's gonna allow me to ask questions using Genie on my dashboard. So let's go ahead and hit publish. Awesome. So as you can see, the Ask Genie button appears. I'm gonna clear this. Sorry. And all you need to do is click on a viz, any viz that you want, and then you can ask a question. So I could say, what is, on this one, what is the average total sales of all my products?
Yeah, so you can see the key piece, what's doing here is fetching the metadata to understand the context of what sales and products mean.
Right, and you can see the underlying code of how it's also achieving this, which is really great. All right, it is correct, yes, and again, it's leveraging this visualization. But what if we want to get more insight, right? This is fine, but my dashboard doesn't have all the data sets I need for analysis. And so what you can do is you can open up your own Genie space. And once you do that, you're brought to a page. I've already created the Genie space because of time. And this took all the tables that you saw in the dashboard, in that data tab. It took all of them here, and then I added some as well so that I can do some analysis. So I also changed some things here. So here I can go ahead and just ask questions in detail. So one of the questions I have is, close this. Can you tell me which franchise in Japan are our champion stores? So Genie is trying to figure out what I mean. I don't have any information. It's saying, what do you mean? And so what's really great is I can tell Genie what I mean. I can say, champion stores are franchises that generate $600 or more in total sales during any week. So now Genie is looking through my metadata and all the tables that I have in in the Genie space, and is trying to figure out which ones in Japan are my champion stores. So it's giving me the franchise ID and the name of the stores. It's Kanazawa Confections, Chiba Chews, and morsels. What's really cool is if I like it, I can of course say yes, but I can also say this as an instruction. So next time that I actually decide to, or someone in my organization asks about Champion Stores, it's registered, and so Genie now knows what Champion Stores is. They can ask any questions regarding Champion Stores. Additionally, I want to share that with Genie, um, you do have to make sure that your data is organized, but also documented. So as you can see, all of my tables have descriptions, and it also Genie registers any data modeling. So any primary and foreign key constraints that you have, it does support that as well. And then sharing your Genie space is super simple. You just grab your link and share it with anyone in your organization, or you can add their name here, and you can give them privileges to manage the actual Genie space. They can edit it, they can just run it, or they can view it, and then you can give them no abilities. So, okay, back to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Bud. Cool. So now talking about Unity Catalog and Databricks SQL, how you can have open governance with Databricks SQL. So we totally understand that when you're using Databricks SQL or any other product, you still have all your data present in different paths, right? There might be data on-prem, there might be data in the legacy data warehouses, there might be data in OLTP. And what you don't want is like doing these jobs to keep on duplicating the data and run it and collect it in the same place, even before you have figured out whether that data is useful or not. Or sometimes it's just not possible, right? If it's like the data is literally being generated as we speak, you don't have the time to bring it to your data lake. So DBSQL makes it really, really easy with federation. There are two types of federation. The Lakehouse federation that we had for some time, that just simply goes to other data sources, other warehouses or databases through the JDBC or DBC connectors, and then queries the data in place. So that's what we had for quite some time. We are seeing very high usage of it, just because it makes it so easy to bring all your data in one place. But what we also now have is catalog federation. And one really cool thing that has happened lately with the emergence of open table formats, Delta and Iceberg, is that the communities have evolved that has figured out that, hey, if we actually have data in these table formats, we can just go and query it. There is no need for two engines to run at the same time to just interpret the data, right? So Databricks SQL can go to any Iceberg table or any Delta table or any Parquet table for that matter, and just query it. As long as you have a catalog, Unity catalog can go to another catalog to talk to understand the permissions and enforce that governance. So we have catalog federation now, and using catalog federation, you can query Snowflake, you can query any data in AWS Glue, in Hive Metastore, and multiple other integrations are coming very soon, including Iceberg REST Catalog. So this really opens up a whole ecosystem of engines that you can query from, or data sources you can query from in Databricks, in DBSQL. The cool piece of Lakehouse Federation with Unity Catalog is that thanks to Unity Catalog, you can have a single governance model across all those data sources. You don't have to worry that with DBSQL you have given access to your analysts to some sensitive data that they are not allowed to. Once you define your policies in Unity Catalog, that's all you need to do. The governance is applied across the entire data estate. I'm going to quickly touch upon it a little bit later, but the very nice piece of Lakehouse Federation is you can even define data pipelines, ETL, using materialized views without actually knowing and having any experience of creating a complicated pipeline. We do that for you automatically. All you need to do is like create MV from source, and the source could be anything. And then we just create a pipeline, data pipeline that we keep up to date under the hood for you. Data warehousing, data modeling is very, very common use case. You need to have some understanding of semantics, of how to define relationships. So DBSQL supports primary and foreign key constraints that you can define in the schema. We have identity columns just to keep track of the row IDs. And then we also have the enforce check constraint that you can define for the data quality. So all of this together makes it really easy for you to do any kind of data modeling in DBSQL. So lastly, this is a new functionality of Unity Catalog, the UC metric views, which basically allows you to define your business metrics in Unity Catalog. So then Unity Catalog can now act as a complete semantic layer for your entire lakehouse, which allows you to then understand the relationships, and you can push those they're automatically available in AI BI, but you can also sync them with Power BI, for example. Now let's see a quick demo.
All right. So here I'm in the Catalog Explorer. This is the unification area of Databricks. And so as you can see, all these, um, these are catalogs, and these are feeding from the cloud, your cloud object storage by default. Um, but what I wanted to share with you is how you can have a foreign catalog, which is basically Lakehouse federation, federating into a different source, right? But if I show you, for example, this is a catalog called Bakehouse, and within Bakehouse, I have several schemas, and then I can click on sales. And then within the sales schema, you can see all of my tables. So with Unity Catalog, we have a 3-level hierarchy, catalog, schema, tables, but we also have views that can be within schemas as well. We can also have volumes and models. Volumes are a way to store non-tabular data, so like images, video, and all that fun stuff. And then of course models, which is really cool, and I'll show you that in a little bit, how you can leverage a model that your ML team might have created in DBSQL. So with all of these, the great thing is that you can set permissioning. I don't know if you saw, but when I clicked on Bakehouse, you can set permissions at the catalog level. You can give privileges to users or groups of users to use your catalog and give them all sorts of privileges here, which is super important. I've had someone overwrite my catalog before and it broke my heart. So then we can also do within the catalog, there's schemas, like I said. You can also provide permissioning here, same kind of thing, grant and revoke. And then you can do similarly with tables, views, functions, models. All of that can be governed right here in one place. So I was talking about federated sources, right? So with a federated source, you need to create a foreign catalog. But before you even do that, you need to have a connection, right? And so what you would need to do is go up here and you click create a connection, and you can give it a name, but I've already created it. I just want to show you how you would do it. And we have several connection types that you can connect to. This is really, really awesome. This is a really quick way to just start working with your data within DBSQL. I'm going to do Snowflake. So as soon as you select Snowflake, you have the ability to authenticate in with your username, OAuth, any of that. I've already actually done that. So I'll show you my connection here. Snowflake demo. And I'm going to show you how you can go ahead and take this Snowflake demo. You can also set permissions on your connection as well to let people use it if they need to. And then you create a catalog. And then that catalog will house the data from your Snowflake instance within Databricks. And I'll show you what that looks like as a completed function. So I created this one called the Snowflake demo catalog. And as you can see, they have my Snowflake demo connection here, and it's saying that it is a foreign catalog. I have my public schema, and then I have my performance table, and I can still see the descriptions and the types of data I have within Snowflake just from just from Databricks, sorry. Cool, and this looks correct. I can go to my Snowflake instance and make sure that looks good. I can go to my data tab, HR data, public, go to my tables, which is the performance table. Columns look the same, and the data looks the same. So we're mirroring what we have in Snowflake right in Databricks. And I can query this too, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But for now, we'll go back to Himanshu.
Awesome. Live demos, always risky. I'm glad it worked. Yeah, because you're querying two systems. You're querying Databricks SQL and Snowflake. So yeah, it's pretty awesome that you don't have to leave Databricks SQL and you can just bring all these sources together. Cool. Just zooming out a little bit. So how do you get started with Databricks SQL, right? You launch a cluster and it's like really simple. We have made it super easy to understand how to launch a cluster. You just like spin up a t-shirt size, small, medium, large, Excel, whatever you want. You define max and min number of clusters for concurrency, how many concurrent users you expect, and off you go. It automatically scales up and down based on the workloads, and we all automatically have concurrency and query routing to route queries to the clusters to get maximum utilization. So now quickly talking about the SQL experiences, what you will do once you have the data warehouse, just in terms of the capabilities, these are just like a quick snapshot of the capabilities that we have. It's a complete enterprise data warehouse. A bunch of new capabilities are being announced in the summit. The ones I want to highlight is around multi-table transactions, temporary tables, stored procedures, variant data support is all available in Databricks SQL now. I kind of touched upon this. This is a really easy way to get started with building data pipelines without even knowing how to build data pipelines, which is just you create a materialized view for your any data source, including Delta, Iceberg, or federated data sources. And the beauty of this using an MB is we will make sure that the data is refreshed automatically and it's incremental. So we incrementalize the refreshes so that we are not doing full table scans, and so it's cheap, effective, and fast. Uh, cool. So once you have your data, you have your DBSQL cluster running. You want to interact with your data. We talked about AI BI, which is the visualization piece of the data. But when you want to interact with the data, you want notebooks. We have full Databricks always had an amazing notebook capability, and now you can use those notebooks with Databricks SQL as well. They are multi-language, they are collaborative, they are Jupyter compatible, they are idle for exploration, they're adaptable, they are reproducible, and they just get you to production faster if you are familiar with that kind of environment, the data engineering space. And if you're not, if you're just used to the SQL editing experience and you want a simple interface, we have that as well. Pearl will demo that a little bit later, but the very cool piece of integrating LLMs into this whole Databricks space is that you have the AI assistant that can help you to write code or help you to fix mistakes as you are going along. And I think instead of me talking about it, we will just like to see that from Pearl.
Awesome. So before we get started, I just wanted to quickly touch on the SQL warehouses that Himanshu touched on in the slides. So creating SQL warehouses is super simple. I've already created two of them, or I'm leveraging two of them. This is a serverless one. This is the elastic compute, so it's super easy to spin up and spin down, and automatically manages your warehouse. But with Pro, it's a step down. I'm not gonna lie, it's a step down. It's still very powerful. And in this demo, I will probably use the serverless one just to show you the extent of what it can do. So I just wanted to show you the area where your SQL warehouses are. Okay, so this is the SQL editor. And here I have my, I want to select all from my Snowflake instance just for you to take a look and see that you can actually query data from Snowflake here. Awesome, so it is working. Great, and so I actually want to go ahead and create a view from this because I don't want to keep, hitting this table. So I can go ahead and just add create or replace materialize view. What is it? Snowflake support view as. Okay, let's run that. Okay, so it looks like I have an error. And this is where the assistant comes in, and it's literally telling me, hey, you've made a mistake in the red, and here's the correct way to write this. Something as simple as a spelling error can obviously mess up your code, and it's telling me that I should just replace it with the correct answer and just run it. This is just one of the small ways the assistant works. You can also, in natural language, ask it to do something for you. You can literally say, join these two tables and create another table for me called this, and it can do that. And I think that's really powerful, especially for someone that may not be super, super skilled in SQL. A really important thing here, this view that is being run, we are creating it from our Snowflake table, but I want you to know that we are writing it to one of our catalogs here on Databricks. So we cannot write tables back to Snowflake or views. Sure. Yes, this is from my Snowflake instance. So it's just mirroring whatever that's in Snowflake into Databricks. Yeah, great question.
It's querying directly Snowflake, and then when the materialized view gets created, then it's gonna persist the data in it's in actually Delta Lake format, and you can do that in Iceberg as well.
Okay, awesome. So my view has been created, and I can verify here in my catalog. I'm going to go to my Bakehouse HR and then my schema HR data just to make sure. Open that up, and it looks like I do have my Snowflake perf view. We are good to go there. All right, back to you, Himanshu.
Awesome. Cool. So I'm just going to rush through a couple of things, mainly because I want to give you a sample of what Databricks SQL can do instead of going super deep into these topics. But the key thing with DBSQL, we've been focusing on how do we help you integrate AI into DBSQL and just make it a very easy way to get started. I understand there is like so much noise around AI these days, and there are very useful applications that are coming on, like what Pearl showed, like with interacting with data and using natural language to interact with data. So with DBSQL, our intention has been how do we give you a very easy way to interact with AI. So now you can integrate any of the models that you want, including your own custom model that have been approved by your company inside your company, and hook it up with DBSQL to query your data. The querying using AI is also very easy. So you can query within DBSQL and call your model that you have, and it just simply like select AI query, and you can literally talk in English, saying summarize the pros and cons, and then that just calls the model and gives you the results. We've been very focused on performance. We understand that what happens very quickly is that the performance goes out of whack as you're querying, because it's very, very easy to keep on querying these systems. So in terms of batch inference throughputs, Databricks SQL has extremely high throughput when you are calling these models. So this is a complete suite of capabilities. I'm not gonna go into details, but the two things I wanna highlight is the fact that you can call your custom model is like very, very impactful. The AI parse can be used to parse documents and unstructured data and put it in structured data, which is very useful capability. And then the AI query that I already talked about that allows you to just query models in a natural SQL format. Awesome. Pearl will show some of these capabilities.
All right. All right, so let's say you have a bakery, like I shared earlier, and a lot of people are leaving tons of reviews on Yelp or Google. And while there are several reviews, you want to create responses to those reviews as quickly as possible. And you don't really have a lot of, AI or ML background or skills. But you do know that your ML team has created a model. And so what we've done with in Databricks SQL is giving you the ability to query not just a custom model, as you can see here, but other foundational models like uh, OpenAI and Claude and stuff like that. But I want to show you here how you can do it with a custom model. And all you need to do with just a few lines of code is uh, call the AI underscore query function. And these are built in, so I'm just gonna hit run. Uh-oh, I know what's wrong. Okay, let's see.
Do you want to say what happened? All right.
The assistant is rescuing and coming to save the day. Let's see. No, that's not right. Hold on.
So what was missing?
I'm not sure. Nothing. I didn't really change anything. Um, but as you can see on the left here, I have my review that was from Google. And then it has automatically generated a response to those reviews, leveraging that custom model. And so this was just to show you a small example. That's why I limited it to one. But if you wanted to do this at scale, you can just increase that to 1,000 or however much that you might need. And then additionally, like Himanshu shared, all of these are built in. So if I remove query, you can kind of see all the different functions that we have. We have analyze sentiment, we have classify. I use AI mask a lot to quickly mask some certain data. And so we make it really, really seamless for you to leverage AI within DBSQL. Okay, back to you, Himanshu.
Awesome. Just quickly rounding it out. Once you have DBSQL, you are using it. Your admins or whoever is responsible for paying the bill wants to, or the permissions and looking at the entire data estate is now wants to start monitoring it. So we have built a lot of capabilities in DBSQL to help you monitor how people are using it, where the opportunities of optimizations lie in a very seamless and easy way. Our first philosophy is we should just give you the data and you can integrate it in any tool that you want. That's our building block. So all of this information is available as system tables to you that you can just build on top of it. We have multiple system tables that can be used, but then we also have dashboards. We have these cost observability dashboards that can help you see where majority of the usage is going, who's querying, what is the cost per query is. So all those capabilities are available. And then Pearl will just quickly do a tour of these capabilities.
I'm sorry. All right, so remember our SQL warehouses? I'm going to click into the serverless one here. And within the warehouse, if you do have admin privileges, you can monitor your warehouse. This is where a lot of our customers spend time just seeing how their queries are running. It gives you really quick and simple insight in a really nice layout. Another really great thing I like is this query history portion here. You can see obviously what queries you're running, but if you click into it, you can kind of see how much time is being spent scheduling it, optimizing it. And if you click this query profile, you're able to see in a tree-like format, which is really great. So if you ever want to debug or see what's going, maybe your warehouse is running slow, or maybe you're not optimizing your queries as much, this will be a great guide to help you figure out where that is. And then of course you can leverage the assistant for help on how to do that. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. And quickly wanted to end on just in terms of performance remains our big focus. I just wanted to show this one graph, which is the actual customer queries that we measure every year, every quarter, and what the performance improvements are on your workloads on repeated queries automatically without you doing anything. And we focus across the stack. We look at BI queries, we look at interactive data, we look at ETL queries. And this is some of the just performance improvements that have gone out in the last 1.5 years without customers doing anything. I wish I had time to talk about this, but the key thing is our goal is to replace the knobs using AI. So we have this predictive optimization engine that is running, is using Unity Catalog's data to understand how read and writes are being done to automatically optimize the data. So using DBSQL, you don't have to worry about the data layouts. You don't have to worry about the workload management. All of that stuff is taken care of. So just wrapping it up, 3 things to remember about DBSQL. It's a fully featured enterprise data warehouse. It's open by design. It's unified by the architecture. And it has the lowest TCO for AI, BI, for ETL, for interactive data analysis. And we're making migration super easy so that you can migrate to DBSQL in a very short time. You can play with the cookies data set that Paul just showed using this QR code. Um, and I suggest if you are interested in learning a little bit more, I really encourage you to attend any of these 3 sessions, especially, which is what's new in DBSQL, cooking with SQL, if you want to do a little bit more deep dive, and then data warehouse migrations to DBSQL, if you're interested in
Can I
DBSQL
plug mine
migrations.
too, Himanshu?
Please.
Tomorrow I have 2 sessions. It's a 90-minute deep dive, and I'll literally take you end to end on all of this. So you'll have a hands-on experience. You'll have your own workspace. So if you are interested in that, I think it's almost full. I think we have about 180 people registered. So we only have room for 20 more, I think, in each one. So if you're interested in getting some hands-on experience with Databricks SQL and having an opportunity to a workspace for about a week to play with it, come check out my session tomorrow at 1:50.
If you look up Pearl, you should see that.
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, folks. I hope this was cool. Thank you.
Thank you.